Welcome to a cloudy day in Empyrion Galactic Survival Alpha 10. In this part, what I want to do is make a start on building a capital vessel from scratch. I know in previous videos I talked about using the blueprint factory to make one and then just drop it out, but to be honest, that has always been my cop-out, because the one area of this game where I've never really been able to crack and get particularly very good at is building capital vessels. I mean, I can knock out a reasonable base and an SV or a hover vehicle, but capital vessels has always eluded me. I've had many attempts in creative mode, and most of them end up looking like flying bricks. And if you watch my previous series on Alpha 9, I did make a pretty good attempt at a capital vessel, but I did cheat a little bit by missing out some of the bigger components. And I think maybe it's time I bit the bullet and had a go at building my own capital vessel. I'm not going to finish this in one video. Obviously, it's going to spread over quite a few parts, because I almost guarantee I'm going to run out of resources when I'm going to get there. And I just want to use this as a vehicle to discuss techniques for building capital vessels. I have been watching some of Spange's chill out building sessions just to see if I can get a few pointers, because he's really good at building ships. I think that's enough of an intro, and what I'm going to do now is show you around the top of here. I've put a very important piece of kit down here, because obviously it's going to get dark and I'm going to need to sleep through the night, so that we can build this in daylight. Hopefully the weather will hold well. The other thing I've also done is put my SV up here for two reasons. One, I want to use this to measure the dimensions of the hangar deck as and when we build it. And the second reason is that since recording the previous video, I've had two base attacks with drones. So I'm half expecting to be interrupted with a base attack. I move back to about here. You can see that what I've actually already done is I've placed the starter kit for the capital vessel, and what I've actually done is I put it on a pile of blocks. These lower level of blocks are actually attached to the landing pad. The reason I've done that is so that I can work round and under the ship if I need to, and the second reason is the fact that I want to be able to put in a ramp for the hover vehicle, and I want to make sure I get the height right. So that's why I've propped this up on here. Hopefully the ship won't collapse. That would be very embarrassing. And I think the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that the core here is not actually going to be the final position of the core. This is something that's quite important when you build a capital vessel, that you will have to accept that you will have to move the core. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is just trim out these steel blocks just so that I've got the core exposed like that. And then I suppose I could remove some of these steel blocks as well. I only need the core sitting on that now. Oops. So that's that done. Now, building capital vessels is like a big 3D jigsaw puzzle, and it makes it very interesting. And just to illustrate the point, if I'm in here, what I've had to do, and this is another top tip as well, that one thing I have noticed is that if you're making the components for a capital vessel, you need a lot of storage. So what I've had to do is put in a second container extension in to be able to accommodate all the resources. You can see all the various components that have got to be fitted into a capital vessel, and this is by not far the end of the list. And what you've also got is a couple of really big items that need to be put in. One is the warp core, and of course now if you want a polarized hull shield, this is 3x3. I'm quite surprised to see that. So this is now, the position of this is going to be something that's quite important at the start of the ship. Then of course we need to find something for the warp drive, and I think then we can build all the other components around it. You can see I've also made some tier 3 fuel tanks and a couple of small fuel tanks. What I've gone for is 4 large generators as opposed to the higher generators, because I don't really have enough resources to make the really big generators. Plus I think going for multiple large generators means you can disperse these around the ship rather than having great big ones tacked on the side. Anyway, I think that's about it. I've got some steel blocks here. Actually, there's something missing here. Let me just have a look at on base constructor out. Yep. I need some cut. So what I'm going to start with is hardened steel blocks, which are going to be used for the outer core, ordinary steel blocks, and some carbon composite, which I'm going to be using to try and keep the weight of the ship down. Now I have sketched out a design of what I want to do with this capital vessel. What I want to do is have quite a lot of carry capacity from the perspective of SVs and HVs. At the minimum, I want to be able to take a hover vehicle and a small vessel, or maybe 2 small vessels. So that's what I'm after. Whether we're going to be able to get it done is another matter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the base of the ship with half blocks. I'm going to come back this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to go over the top, but we'll be okay. 7, and this is going to be the hover bay. I think it's 7. I have got a very rough plan sketched out on a bit of paper. I think we're built here, so hopefully this will not collapse. If it does, I'm going to be very embarrassed. I think when you're building a capital vessel like this, the structural integrity doesn't relate to what you're actually building on. So we're going to come here. This is 3 wide. Now, if I remember correctly, the ideal width for a hover vehicle is I think it's 5 by 5. You need a 5 width because we need a door put in here. Let me just think this through. I think what we can do is in here. If I put in, just put this here. And of course, I'm using hardened steel blocks simply because this is going to be the base of the ship. And with a capital vessel, you do need to protect the underside. You can't cheat like you could with the hover vehicle. We've now got this area here. I mean, could we get through with 3, or do we need 5? Actually, I think I've made a bit of a mistake here. Let me just, I'm off to a flying start here, aren't we? Let me just take this out. I think what we can do is come out another layer. So I'm just going to come here. And I'm just going to, I think we'll go out another. I mean, we're going to go through the blocks very, very quickly. So let me just, that's probably the best way to do this. So that would be 5. And then I think probably the best way to test this is if I put in just a couple of blocks on the end here. Like this. Because the hangar deck is going to define the width of the ship. So if we put the hangar deck entrance here. Now I'm not going to use the hangar doors. What I would like to do is use force fields. If we put this in here, so this is going to be the rear of the ship. We're going to have a fairly nice wide entrance here. I think we need to go up 3 blocks like that. Across like that. And what we could do is I put in something like that. And we're putting, let's put this back here. I mean, that's probably more than big enough for an entrance. And of course, the way to test it is to use the SV. I mean, I'm working purely on the principle that if the SV can go in through that entrance, so the hover vehicle will definitely be able to get through. So we're just going to come around here like that. I mean, I deliberately want this over large because there's a possibility that maybe in the future I will build something a little bit bigger. It's just okay. Yeah, look at that. That fits through really nicely. And if I just come in and drop in here. I'm just going to jump out. Yeah, I think that will work as the area here, and of course we can bring this out over time. This, well, yeah, so this will definitely take a hover vehicle, especially once we put in here. In fact, let me just work on something here. I don't want to put out too many of these because I've only got a limited size of blocks, and what I want to do is in this part is flesh out the main structure so that I can get a feel for the overall shape of the, and this is something you need to do. So if I can put in, say, actually I don't need these to be, let me just take these out. That, and what we need is, actually I could use carbon substrate here because this will be an internal wall. We can, if I can put there, oh, oops, we put, this here like that. I'm just going to flip that round like that. Just put a couple in like this. Now the thought process is that outside here I can put some nacelles on. Actually, this just put that in. So what I'm thinking is come out like that, and then we'll have something on that side like that. So, and if I do it on this side, I know I can use a plane of symmetry, but at the moment, while I'm actually fleshing out the main details, I just want to, oops, just rotate that in there. And the idea is that we can have some nacelles along here, which will allow me to put lift thrusters along the back here, and also we can put in a couple of medium thrusters in there. I don't think I've got any medium thrusters, have I? I don't think I actually, I've only got small thrusters. I don't think I've got the resources to make medium thrusters at the moment, but I'm not too worried about thruster positioning at the moment. So this is going to be the hover vehicle bay. And then what I want to do is come in here. And what I want is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. I've lost count there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. That back. And then what I want here is my SV bay, and what I'm thinking is that this will come out and this will be wider than the hover bay, and I will use side entrances to get into it. And I don't know if yeah, I've got a couple of these. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the core in for the moment. I can always take that out later on. And what I want to do is put in a couple of steps there like that, and this is because this will be on an outside wall. You can put in a couple of steel blocks like this. And the bottom, now there's a reason I'm lifting this bay up, which will become apparent in a very short time. What I'm going to do is just drop this through about here, like that. In fact, I could put I will put the hardened steel blocks underneath eventually. I just want to put that there, just to, and so we've got plenty of steel blocks at the moment. So say every time I do this, I'm half expecting this to collapse. We've now got that there. What I want to do now is just put this here, and then we're going to come down here. We go 1, 2, 3 out this way, and I think we go 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and 3, 4 here, like that. I mean, this gives you an idea of how big capital vessels can be. And what I'm going to do is put in a couple of these like that. Now, hopefully, if this goes according to plan, what I want to do is put the polarized shield generator there. This is a really big piece of kit. And the idea is that we can put in 1, 2, some walls in there, put that in there like that, that in like that, and this will be the beginning of a machine room. Oops. So what I've got is, in fact, I can put in that there and that there, because what I want is a couple of doorways here, and that will give me the width of the ship coming out this way. So I will plate in all the rest of this with the hardened steel blocks eventually. So we've now got this area here, in fact, and then what I want is 1, 2. Actually, I've just had a thought here. Is I could put the container controllers, one of my containers, in here for the mid part of the ship. Let me just put this in here, and then we're just going to come across like that, and then have a wow. So how far back am I now? So we're going to have there. Push these out like this. Yeah, I know I'm on the edge of the drone area here. And what I'm thinking is that this would be the machine room. So if you imagine we have a footpath coming through there, and then another one coming through there, and then we can have a what we call it here. But what it is, an advanced constructor and a large constructor there. I probably won't put a small constructor on the ship. In fact, let's just walk through. Oops, going the wrong way. And if I still want to carry on working on the main spine of the ship, so if we bring this through like to about there, you know, we've got the blocks for it, so we'll bring this through here. So we've now got the room for the constructor, and come out. How many blocks here? One. Go back to these. We've got 1, 2, 3 here. I think we can come out another line like that. So that, I mean, we will make this a little bit wider. So that's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just drop another line of these blocks underneath like that. And just fly out that way. I mean, this is a big ship. And we've got this area here like that. We could come out another line here. That means we can put some single block devices along here. In fact, I think what we're going to do here is, I mean, this is a good opportunity, so let me just come in here. And we'll just take this out at the moment, like this. And what have we got here? We've got a fuel tank. I'm sure I had, yeah, we've got a big pile of these. And we've got container controller. If I 6, I mean, you could say this is the center mass of the ship. I can put it there, doesn't make no difference. He wants to go. And we can put this in here like that, and we can have a quick check. It's starting to get a bit dark. Container controller. At the moment we got carry for 96,000 here, and we've got a footpath there. I think what we're going to do is just maybe make this a little bit. Maybe we'll add another reel in here like that. Back to 5, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that. And it's getting dark. Okay. You just gotta find my way around. Lost in my own ship, and I'm still building it. Ah, nearly fell off the top then. And we're just gonna sleep through the night. Gonna check. Okay, time to wait for the jetpack to recharge. Jump in here. Down the base defense, thrusters on. Reload. I suppose this would be a good opportunity to give you guys a little bit of a break of the remote connection for the moment of what this ship is going to look like. You can see how big it's going to be, although now we've got to this point, the front cockpit section will start to pick up from here, although I haven't really decided what I want the front to look like, so it could be anything. It's probably the honest truth. Okay. Yeah. Oh, troop ship. While I was talking, my base defences did the work for me. Thank you. You can see how high that troop ship comes in. So we can get in here. Every little bit of loot is welcome at the moment. Let's just come here. Well, we got a minigun and some. I'm pretty certain they've actually nerfed the loot that you. Oops. Whoop. Ah. Then he fell off my ship there. And again, we'll just use this as an opportunity, as I've now built the side walls. So come in here, just level off. We'll use this as an opportunity to check the docking again. Actually, what I could do. Oops. I mean, I seriously doubt I could turn round here. I mean, could I? I suppose I could. I know I'm cheating a little bit in the sense that not all the walls are there. I suppose I could turn round in here. I'm just going to power off the thrusters. Let's just come through here. We've got the, what was I looking at? Oh yeah, the container controller. We've got 144,000. That's probably more than enough for a ship. I mean, we're probably going to have to supermax the cargo capacity. And let me just see now. So we've got, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I'm thinking now is, oops, I haven't done the as it's telling me I'm out of range of my out of range of the base where I need the link. Okay. This is going to be interesting building this. I think what I probably need to do is just pick up that. Oh, sorry about that. CB supplies. Under the ship up onto here. And I think what I'm going to need to do is, this is going to be the front of the ship. So there's the wrong key. Okay. Down to 18 heart. Nah. Bit worried then. I thought I was out of hardened steel blocks and steel blocks. Now I want the ship to start to rise up here. So kind of, I mean, it's the front of the ship always takes a lot of damage, doesn't it? So actually let's just take off. Let's just retrieve these. And then I'm going to put these in as hardened blocks, and then put this in here like this, cross like that. In fact, I could probably take off these like that, and be aware that there's going to be all subject to adjustment in the future, because that's the way I often build. Put that across the front like this. So that's the ship will start to curve up this way. And we've got 1, 2, we've got a footpath through there. Let's let me just come here. Opens an ammo. And you can come onto there. And let me just and what can we have for textures on the base here. Let me just texture this in. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So if I put in this here, like that, so that's going to be the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be the 2 main constructors. Then that will leave me an area here for other bits and pieces, maybe RCSs, things like that. And then we've got the hardened blocks there. And I need to put an elevator in here somewhere. CV supplies. I've got some elevator blocks. I've built some. Yes, they're there. And I think if we put an elevator in here like that, coming up. Oops, missing. So we've got this here, and pick those up. We've got an elevator block there. And we can reinforce this with some form of defences. So again, I think we're going to have to use hardened steel blocks across the front like this. And now, how far up do I want to come with this? In fact, I think what we're going to do is come in here. Oh, no, I think we're actually, this is going to be an internal floor, so we could use the that come through and connect to there. So that will give me the internal floor for here. This will be 2 blocks high, which will take the 2 constructors. In fact, what I could do is put in the floor above here to see if that will come back and connect with that. Is what I would like. Yeah, I think we'll just use these as a construction guide. So we're just going to come back here like that. And I just want to see if that lines up with that. Yes, look at that. Smack on. Now, this isn't going to be the whole floor through. But we got this here. Now, of course, what I need is a machine room up here. I think we can use carbon substrate here. Like this, because this will be the internals of the ship. So we're going to come up here like that. And then I'm not sure how far I want to bring this room back, but what I do want is to get another floor above this, because above here is going to be the area where we're going to have the warp drive and other bits and pieces. Right, this is going to be a bit low, isn't it? I think we will probably have to put half blocks in across here, but let me just put this out now. I think for the moment we'll just put a I think to put the warp drive in we're going to need a double height. And let me just check the warp drive. I'm not going to put it in, I just want to see actually. Yeah, so that would accommodate the warp drive, so you can see how big the warp drive is. In fact, I'll probably be tempted to put it in about there. I don't want to risk damaging it. And then that will take us up to the top level. So this would be the top of the ship. And this will need to be restructured. So let me just take that out. Let me just work on the back of the ship now. We're just going to take that out. And for the moment, we're just going to put a line of blocks across the top here like this. And of course, we're going to have to go up 2 more as well, like this. And another light layer up here like that. And then what we should be able to do is come across like that. And what we'll probably do here is put an angled block in here. Now bear in mind, this isn't going to be the finished shape, this is just fleshing out the main structure of the ship. So, and this comes back to what I was saying, one of my problems is that my ships invariably end up as great big blocks. So we're going to have a machine room up here, we're going to have a nice flat area at the top here for weapons and turrets. Across here we'll have plenty of capacity here to put in thrusters, and of course we could put some thrusters in here as well, because this is going to be more than enough space than what I need. And I think it's just I'm just aware of the time, so what I'm going to do is I come out here like that, and what I'm going to do is I want a roof access, so I think we'll just keep I've run out of, we'll have to make a few of those. And we've got this floor here, and kind of thinking, yeah, and I think we're just going to do it with the carbon blocks. Actually no, we'll use the steel blocks here for the internal floor. So we're going to go maybe 1, 2, well, 3 here, and then maybe work 4, 5. So what we've got is we've got 2 hangars, a machine room for all the things, warp drive, tanks, fuel tanks up there. We've got a operational room with the shield generator in here. We'll have the 2 main constructors in here. Maybe we'll put in some med bays, and then above that we'll have a kind of floor here, and this is where I'm going to probably put a farm in as well, if I can work out the layout. And then up here we will have the cockpit, and I think probably now is probably a good point to move the core, if I can find it. Where's the core gone? I think I've got a spare core. Just make sure I've got it. No, I think I'm just going to place the core there. And of course we need to take that out, and in case I forget. And we'll just rotate that block in there. And now this is going to be a solid wall, so I think, and this is going to be the heart of the ship, so I think probably the best place to put the core in. Oops, it's on 4. Okay. And we're just going to drop the core in there, and we'll just put the, so we've now got the core in. The core's in the heart of the ship. We've now got the main structure in place. Things are looking good, and I think this would be probably a good point to stop, because I'm going to need to make some more supplies, but I think that gives you a pretty good idea of where I'm going from. Obviously we're going to have to come out widthwise around here in order to make sure that the ship's got some more structural integrity. What I will probably do is work a little bit more on the floor here, when of course eventually we will need to put in the landing gear. I don't think I can fit the landing gear in at the moment. I mean, ideally I would like to, but the landing gear can be a little bit temperamental when it's actually, oh, we could put it in like that actually. Will this actually hook underneath? That's half block, so we would want to put the landing gear under those full size blocks here. So we're not out far enough yet for the landing gear to take effect. And then of course up here we would probably have to put some pillars down if we just have a front landing bay here. So, I mean, it's going to be a pretty big stretch for. I'm probably a bit inclined to get whoops. Ha. Maybe. Yeah. So probably. Yeah, I'm getting distracted. This is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. Any suggestions, opinions, feel free to chuck them in the comments, because as I said at the beginning of the video, there's no way an expert on building capital vessels. It's my one disaster area. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.